Welcome to Chapter 1. If there is one thing that truly makes a good public speaker, it's confidence. Through confidence, people can overcome many of the shortfalls that you see public speakers make, from filler words to closed body language to inability to interact with the audience. Confidence is a great place to start. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. This is from Mark Twain, and he's talking about confidence. If you don't think you're a good public speaker, you will struggle. But if you build up the skills and the talent to become a better public speaker, you'll be great at it. Let's dive into what we're going to be doing in this first chapter. We want to talk about the power of speech. It is a powerful tool in your life. Freedom of speech, high anxiety or glossophobia. We all have it. It's okay. The craft of public speaking, getting up there and presenting, and finally, how speech preparation gives you that confidence you need. Power of public speaking. George is a sophist, which is another story altogether, but they were basically people that wandered around using their ability to public speak to make their living and impact their community. Compared public speaking to music, causing awe, amazement, and fear. It has healing power and the ability to cause pain. We have seen this. A good public speaker can draw people together, can make them feel united. A bad public speaker can make you cringe, can make you a little bit, as well as if you use public speaking negatively, it can have a negative effect on your community. Now, Isocrates offered that because of great power of public speaking, it must be taught with ethics. That is true. There's a history of people with unethical public speaking that motivated people into bad situations, led to horrible humanitarian catastrophes. So all three of these are an important aspect of the power of public speaking. As a matter of fact, Aristotle had an argument with Plato over who or should be taught public speaking. Aristotle felt that it should be for the masses, it should be for everyone. Meanwhile, Plato felt that it should really be limited to the aristocratic and the elite because of its power. Of course, we live in more of the Aristotelian world where public speaking is offered to everyone. Freedom of speech. Oh, absolutely. It's something we can take for granted at times, but we need to remember how important it is. Because without public speaking, we are unable to get our ideas into the community and to change our community for the better. Historically, repressive governments have done so much to shut down public speaking, from banning groups of larger than 2 people to speak together, by imprisoning people for public speaking, by making it difficult creating laws. And so we need to understand public speaking is a powerful tool. It is tied to ethics. And it is something that everyone should be able to do so you have power within your community. In a democratic society, we absolutely embrace public speaking. We encourage it and we almost expect it of our civilians. This way, they can help shape their government. They can help shape policies. They can change things that they feel are wrong, and they can create movements. So appreciate the talent of good public speakers. Throughout the semester, you're going to be watching different videos. Watch these people. They are good public speakers. And the reason why we're sharing it is I absolutely want you to have the same skills they do, so you have that power in your community, so you can express your freedom of speech effectively and ethically. Now, I'm going to break from the book here. I want you to do this at times. One thing I want you to absolutely have in this course is the idea that you are constructing your opinion about communication. You're not taking mine and saying, oh, Brad said that's how we do it, so that's what it's done. Or you're not taking the book saying, oh, well, the book says. No, in the end, it's going to be you that craft, that develop your own public speaking style. For that reason, I'm going to break from the book because there are times I don't agree with the book, and that's all right. They really kind of focus on public speaking as being a talent in the book, like a talented basketball player or a talented musician or someone that is talented in art. You sit down and you speak to any of those individuals, a great baseball player, great basketball player, a great artist, a great writer. And you know what they're going to tell you? They developed their skills. They may not have had the most talent, but practice, practice, practice is what made them great. So it is a skill. So even if you say, I have no talent for public speaking, you have a skill that you can still develop. And you can develop that confidence to become a talented public speaker and be successful. Back to the book. Now it talks about high anxiety. Yes, anxiety. Anxiety related to public speaking. It is the fear, it's the butterflies, it's the gut-wrenching feeling you have, it's the sweaty. That's okay. You know, it has long time been identified that public speaking is one of the most feared things in the world. People hate doing it. They don't want to do it. Matter of fact, we fear it more than heights. We fear it more than clowns. We fear it more than ghosts. We fear it more than drowning. That's right. Many people consider they'd rather be dead than publicly speak. Don't embrace that. We will tell you throughout the course how you can take some of that energy and make it into a positive aspect. And the reason why we have anxiety and fear is because we visualize and we think we're going to fail. We think when we get up there and we speak, the audience is going to boo and hiss and be angry at us, and they won't like us. It's fear. Fear is something that we have all the time, and we learn to overcome it. And by overcoming it, we actually become better. High anxiety. How do you overcome it? Realize this. Look to your audience. Especially in most academic situations, the people in the audience are not there to grade you or to judge you or demean you. No, they want you to be successful. They are your audience because they said, that person has something I want to hear. They have knowledge I want to have shared with me. So your audience is very supportive. Matter of fact, they are the focus of your speech. So when you're up there and you're feeling it, realize your audience is behind you. They are with you. They want you to give a good speech. So look to your audience to calm yourself. Next, most public speaking actually occurs in pretty small groups. At work, in the community, oftentimes we're presenting in front of a group of 12 to 15 people, maybe even less, maybe 6 or 7 people. So for that reason, do not think of it as a large group. Here's a trick. Even if it is a large group, you're only actually talking to a small number of the people because the other faces kind of blend in. So when you go up to speak, you look for the friendly faces. 6 or 7 friendly faces in the crowd in different areas, and you speak and you present to them. In other words, you're talking to the friendly people. The ones that are disinterested or angry looking, talk in their area, but talk to the friendly person that's standing next to them. Audiences tend to have empathy for the speaker. This is especially true in college classes because your audience is made up of your fellow students. And do you know what your fellow students are going to be thinking? Either they're going to be thinking about the speech they just gave, or they're thinking about the speech they're going to have to give. And when they are up there, they want you to be one of those friendly faces. So for you, they're going to be empathetic. They understand the stress and the pressure. Same thing with most groups. When you're in a work group, yeah, they actually are supportive, they're empathetic because they're your coworker, they're your friend, they're your supervisor. All these people are interested in you doing well, so they have empathy for you. And there's another break from the book. Another break is, in public speaking, the center of experience should the entire experience, the experience of public speaking, needs to be your audience. Don't be worried about people looking at you, because in all honesty, you're not the important person. The important person is your audience. You already know the information you're sharing. You've already done the research. You've already done the studies. So you don't have to be frightened. Instead, don't think of, oh, everyone's looking at me, I'm the center of attention, everyone's picking me apart. No, they have empathy for you. They want you to succeed. And actually, they're the important people. They're the ones you're talking to. So share with them. Take what you have and share it with them. Share your knowledge, share your information, share your excitement, share all of that, your humor, share it with them. And by sharing, you don't have to worry about impressing. Because when we impress, we try to be a person we're not being, and we become inauthentic and we struggle. So realize you're there to bless your audience. High anxiety, navigating speech anxiety. Now, I'm going to give you another little section on this. I'm going to tell you how to prep for a speech later in the semester. I'm going to tell you some of the common tools to overcome speech anxiety. So those are coming up. But for now, let me share this. When you need to navigate that is speaking apprehension is normal. And it's not just normal for you. It's normal for your instructors. It's normal for people that do speeches in front of thousands of people. It is a normal aspect. It's part of our body's responses. Naturally, if we had the choice between public speaking and not public speaking, most of us would choose not public speaking. But that's not really our choice. The choice is have a world in which we have no impact, or have a world in which we have impact. We want to have that impact in the world. So that anxiety, we need to say, oh, what is more important? To have a voice in our community, to have a voice at our job. So for that reason, understand anxiety is normal and view it as a type of energy. An energy that you, when you're getting up there, you're not anxious, you're just so excited, you're ready to share this information, this knowledge with people, that you just burst from the stage. Not run off, I'm talking about energy, just boom, you present, you're big, you're large, and you're sharing with your audience something you're passionate about. Now, I'm going to add in, this is called cognitive restructuring. So all my psychology students, you can put that in your checkbox. We talked about cognitive psychology today. So cognitive restructuring is you take something negative and you turn it positive. You know, it's like, oh, I just gave a really bad speech. I know I did, but you know something? I gave a speech. That's a win. So that is taking a negative and turning it positive. Think about that. Another break from the book. I'm just going off track all the place here. We'll cover this more in depth later, but one of the best ways to deal with anxiety is be prepared. is knowing your stuff, going through the steps that we're going to go through in this class to prepare for a speech. That will reduce your anxiety, because the worst anxiety you can have is, I'm not prepared, I don't know what I'm going to do. You need to eliminate that. So we're going to get in that practice of preparing to be successful in public speaking. And practice before an audience has you presented. What I'm trying to say here is if you're going to use PowerPoints, practice using PowerPoints. If you're going to end up doing public speaking and you need to have big body language, practice that in front of a camera or in front of a mirror. Don't practice by reading through your outline. That's not practice. Because you're not going to get up there in front of this audience and go, no, you're going to get up there and you're going to take what you have written and you're going to share it. So when you practice sharing, not reading. Reading is not the skill we're accomplishing here. Craft public speaking, it's a conversation you're having. That's one thing we're going to absolutely look towards, is that we're having a civic conversation. We are looking at having a conversation, not speaking at our audience. We want to speak with our audience. Democracy and elections are based off of public speaking. That's how we decide who we vote for, is how they come out and they present and they share their ideas. They come out there and they give us where they're going. They lay it out for us in words, through speaking, by having a conversation with us, not by talking at us. And it builds and maintains a sense of community. When you need your community to come together to decide something, you want to have power in those situations. You want to have a voice. Now, Aristotle provided the speaker improves their skills by doing 3 things. Practice having a good role model to emulate. Look for a good public speaker. Honestly, you can actually look at comedians sometimes because they have to present. It is a form of public speaking to get up on a stage and share humor. Or there might be Martin Luther King, there might be John F. Kennedy, there might be another speaker, maybe a minister, or anyone that gets up there and publicly speaks. Watch them, learn from them. Study and understand the expectations of the audience. Know what your audience is looking for. We're absolutely going to cover this in audience analysis because, as I said before, you're not the important person. Your audience is. So if you don't understand your audience, you're denying them the opportunity to communicate and interact with you. And planning and preparation for your speech. We're going to go step by step. As a matter of fact, you're getting a little bit of what we call the latent learning theory going on here, because you're learning something even as I'm going through this presentation by the format of the presentation. Every lecture I give is the exact model that you would use if presenting a speech. Everyone, I don't vary from it, so you get used to that format. Oh, I need to have my introduction. Oh, I need to have my preview. Oh, then comes the body. Oh, I'm transitioning over to my conclusion. Let me throw in a review with that. Oh, now I got to have that hook at the end. I got to have that mic drop. So that way my audience goes, oh, I remember this. So you're getting a little bit of late learning here. I'll go over that. And it's important to know your audience, of course, because they are the important people. Now, ancient Greece used to refer to rhetoric as a technique or a translation of art or craftsman. So rhetoric in ancient Greek was art or craftsman. Rhetoric, we have a tendency to think of it as a negative thing. Everything we do is rhetoric, actually. It's an art or technique of persuasion, of interacting with people to share your thoughts, your ideas, and get them to respond to those. There's a division between teaching public speaking and whether or not. And is it ethical to teach everyone public speaking? That's why we have an entire chapter on ethics. We're going to go over ethics in depth so you know that yes, this is good, or no, this is bad. Main thing is with ethics, you always have to look at that goal. What is your goal? If your goal is to enhance and bless and help your audience become better, that's ethical. If your goal is to get your audience's money or to swindle them or confuse them, then that's unethical. But we'll go more in depth on that in just a bit. Getting up there. I don't like this term. Fake it till you make it. I don't like it because I teach interpersonal communication, and faking it is what we call a mask, where we're hiding our intentions and we're hiding our true selves. So I don't like that. Let me break from the book. Let me throw that out. Fake it implies that a public speaker should be inauthentic in their presentation. If you're being inauthentic, you're being unethical. So what you want to do instead is build that confidence. Know what a confident public speaker looks like. Embrace that and use that. You won't have to fake it if you prepare. You don't have to fake it if you practice. You don't have to fake it if you're centered on the audience. You can be authentic, and authentic is much more powerful. So I'll disagree with the book here. Getting up there, there's a mental process, simple things that you can help to get you up on stage. Visualize giving a successful speech. It is so easy to visualize getting up there and bombing. It is so easy to visualize sweaty palms, a sweaty forehead, heart beating, breathing. I can't breathe, I forgot to breathe. You don't want that. Instead, you want to visualize being successful at public speaking. Think of it, sports analogy, here it comes. Baseball players. They don't visualize striking out, because if they visualize striking out, what do? Strike three, they're out. They visualize hitting the home run. They visualize hitting the ball. Musicians don't visualize hitting the wrong chord. Oh no, they visualize playing it perfect. Visualization is creating a mental image of what success looks like. You might fall short of that, but you'll take that double over striking out any time. And cognitive restructuring, as we talked about, is you're taking negative things that happen and turning them positive. Oh, boy, on the way I tripped on the way up to give my speech. I can either let that bother me and cause nerves, or I can make a joke about it and connect with the audience. That's a restructuring. I can visualize that, oh, my speech it wasn't as good, but something, this is what I did good. So during the semester, you will have feedback from you. The hardest critic you're going to run into is yourself. And in this feedback, I'm not going to ask why you did well. I'm going to ask what you did well. What is important, because what gives you the elements. What did I do well in the speech? I had a strong voice. Check. What can I improve on my next speech? I can practice it more. So suddenly you have action statements. Why? Well, why did I do well in speech? Because I'm good at public speaking. No, that doesn't give you anything to work for. So when you do reflections this semester, realize I'll be asking what questions, not why questions. Public speaking is a key element in academics, family, social interactions, community. If you actually counted how many times you do public speaking, you would be surprised. We do a lot of public speaking. And public speaking is now going into the computer age. If you're on a Zoom meeting, you're doing public speaking. If you're in a restaurant, you're ordering your food, you're doing public speaking, because you have someone expecting you to give them answers. And so public speaking, realize you do it a lot, and it's okay. Each step in the process is important to building confidence. Confidence is that key word that we want, because if you are confident, you can overcome many of the shortfalls of public speaking. Now, there are going to be 4 steps that you need whenever you're doing a presentation. And these are primarily important for building your credibility with your audience. They're important for you to have knowledge to draw from. They're important as a pathway for you to follow to be successful and have confidence in your public speaking. The first one is, especially in academics, we do our research first. We go out and we find out truths. We go out and find out things that are reality in the world, and we bring that in and we have our research, and then we want to present it. We want to share it, because it really doesn't help if we don't share it. So we have to then organize it, and then we have to practice how we will deliver it, and then we actually have to go out there and do it. This ties to Aristotle's 5 canons of rhetoric, which are invention. In other words, you invent a reason why you have to do it. Arrangement, how do you organize it? Style, how are you going to deliver it? Memory, how are you going to remember it? How are you going to make it memorable for your audience? And finally, delivery, which is going out there and delivering it to the audience. In this course, presentation will be delivered extemporaneously. Big word, simple meaning. Extemporaneous means you're having a conversation with the audience. You are not reading to them. You're not sitting there going, okay, I'm going to read chapter 1, page 1. The world was, no, that's not what we're doing here. Matter of fact, that is very difficult to do, because it's easy to lose your place when you're trying to make eye contact. It's really not a good way, and your audience doesn't receive it well, unless you're a great actor. If you're a great actor, memorize your lines. But for the rest of us, realize this. Extemporaneous speaking means that we are basically taking information and we are putting it into keywords, and from those keywords, we're progressing through. Like with a PowerPoint, I look at that and I go, So in this case, what you're going to be doing is we're going to break from the book. Successful extemporaneous speaking presentations are dependent upon knowing your topic. Because if you know your topic, you have a well of information to draw from. Following the process of building a speech from an outline, full sentence, and speaking outline. There are 3 steps. There are 3 different types of outlines. The one I'm going to be looking at primarily is your full sentence outline. You do a rough draft to begin with, and that rough draft is just getting the information on some paper. Then you're going to do a full sentence outline where you take that little fragments, and what you're doing is expanding the base of information you have. And then your speaking outline, you're going to keywords. And we'll get into that. Don't worry, don't memorize that now. We will get there. Practice as you would delivery of the presentation. In other words, you want to practice your speech and the way you're going to deliver it. If you're going to deliver your speech sitting down like I currently am, well, you should practice it sitting down. If you're going to deliver your speech standing up in front of a group, practice standing up. Because if you're sitting down reading your notes, great. You'd be wonderful at reading your notes sitting down to nobody. But in order to present in front of a group of people, you have to practice standing up and actually presenting it. So what we talked about today is the power of public speaking, freedom of speech, high anxiety. You got a lot coming to you on that. We're going to continue expanding that because in order to get confidence, we need to deal with that anxiety. Craft of public speaking, yes, it is absolutely. There's a style and a format that you will utilize. Getting up there, and finally, speech preparation. If you can speak, you can influence. If you can influence, you can change lives. So let's get that confidence built up. Let's get into this semester so that way you can be a successful public speaker.